So here we are with Dean. Dean fought in September for Man Down and supported the charity. Dean, you're involved now with
True Amateur Boxing Club.
Yeah. And that's Tim Field.
No, Ian Tennant.
Okay.
No, so Tim Field, he's been training me, doing some one-on-one bits for me for the Man Down thing, and still with what I do now as well. So really good coach, really passionate.
So you're here to support Jake.
Yeah, and Lewis.
And
Ricky.
Ricky's here.
Yeah, the Lions Den.
But, that's their first fight since the charity boxing
Yes.
event. But you've already been in the ring. You've beat them to it.
Straight back in there already. Yeah, I couldn't wait after that. So. I carded myself as a amateur boxer.
Yeah.
Got my medical done and went up country to Crewkern.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
and I've got another one in 28.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you really are a white collar fighter because you're an office boy by day.
Yeah, I am.
You're ex-forces.
Yeah.
So you know what what it is to challenge yourself.
Yes.
Why do you want to keep doing it?
Well, that's exactly that really. Ex-forces in the Royal Marines. Once leaving there, I was always looking for that next challenge. So when your event came up for the Man Down charity, I was like, yes, there it is. Yeah. So if I'm honest, the nerves and that don't really get to me too much, but it's the training and the excitement is brilliant. It's brilliant. So the first time getting the opportunity to step in those ropes can be a very lonely place, but you really get to test yourself. And hats off to anyone that does it.
You've got a very young family. You're involved in a business. You just recently got married last year, this year?
This year, yeah.
This year.
That was why I was training for Man Down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got married in my camp.
Your missus must be a fantastic lady, that's why you married her, but...
She's a saint.
In the middle of all that, you decided, you lost a bit of pudding, you lost a bit of weight.
I did, yeah.
So in the early days down St Agnes, I sparred you.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a jump about, but boy, have you come on since then.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you've been sparring with some really good lads.
Yeah, that's it. Again, I kind of picked out those lads. I mean, obviously Lewis is like, he's had 20 odd bouts. Ben, as we know, is very, very talented.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, I want to spar you, and you, because you're only going to learn from people better than you, is the way I sort of approached it.
Yeah.
And again, jumping in the ring with them and sparring them and going heavy is harder than any bout I've had so far.
Really?
So it's
that's saying something.
Yeah.
And it's all about levels, isn't it?
Exactly that, yeah. So if you're putting yourself up those levels, it's a train hard, fight easy approach, isn't it? And when I do something, I'm doing it every single day. I live in and breathe in it. So
mate, you look in great condition. You look like you could jump in at any moment's notice.
Yes, I feel like I could as well. I'm itching, just stood here right now. It's twitchy, but I've got to stick with the carded stuff now.
Yes.
I've been told, because they know I've done the white collar, you've got one or the other, or they'll pull my card. It takes 8 weeks to get it back. I've got 6 months left, and then I'm going to be all this.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm 39. I'm 40 in June.
And is that when amateur stops?
Yeah, it's amateur stops. So I've got 6 months to get as many amateur fights in as I can now, and then I'll be jumping straight in on this. So I wanted the experience of that because those guys, they're very good technical boxers. So I think it's gaining that experience again is my training ground to come out and do this at the back end of next year.
What ounce gloves were we wearing last time out?
12.
12 ounce gloves.
12 ounce gloves, yeah.
A lot of difference from the 16 ounce
and they're
gloves.
solid.
Yeah.
Like they're solid rubber. Yeah, they sting.
Yeah.
That was the first shot I took of those. I was like, oh yeah, these are cheeky.
What do you remember from your fight with Sam Rylance? Because Sam Rylance is
a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
he's a local boy, born and bred Mavagissy.
He had the crowd.
He had the crowd.
He really had the crowd. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and what I really enjoyed is being able to share that with him too.
Yeah.
Because we both had, I think out of all of those bouts, you can see we were laughing, joking, speaking with each other.
Yeah.
We were a bit too respectful at points.
Yeah.
Because we were almost stepping off, touching gloves, coming back in. But thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that was an excellent first bout.
I think it just goes to show how different that particular show was. It was, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Everybody was helping each other over the finishing line.
Yes.
But then to step away from that, to get the confidence then to go, I mean, you went into the Lion's Den, your last time out, you were an away fighter, and the atmosphere must have been a lot different.
Well, I took that bout, I got a phone call on a Wednesday saying, are you happy to fight on Saturday? And I just said yes. And the first time I knew about this bloke, anything about him, I was stepping in the ring. Yeah. So it was a very, very different thing. Yeah. And I was driving 2 hours up country, out. It was very, very different. The atmosphere was completely different. It was a lot moodier. It was a bit like, who are you, what are you doing? But once we had the bout, lovely lad, straight afterwards, everyone was like, I heard you just took that at 2 days notice because opponent dropped out, all went friendly again, which is great. But initially it was a lot different.
It takes some bollocks to get in the ring, and especially to drive 2 hours, like you say, and go and fight an unknown quantity. Yeah. You know, what would you say to anybody thinking about the struggling with the mental health, thinking about doing a white collar, amateur, testing the self, challenging the self?
Yeah, I think you can learn a lot from yourself, and you'll be really, really surprised at what you can achieve as an individual. Like what you can take away from it. I think everyone should do it. I think everyone should do it. Put themselves out there, test themselves, push yourself out your comfort zone. Yeah. And like, because being upset and with your mental health and struggling like that, you'll feel uncomfortable now in your own head. Yeah. So by pushing yourself out, exerting those energies and those things, you'll come back down and feel a lot nicer about it. It's just it's not for everyone, obviously, but I do think that everyone should do something like that. It helps me, and I couldn't be without it. My missus, like saying, is a saint. She is. But when I stopped doing this beforehand, she's like, you're a much nicer person. You're a better person to be around. She'll be like, if I'm pissed off, she'll be like, go for a run, will you? Yeah. You know, that kind of thing. And I come back and it's like, oh, okay, much better. And now she does it. She's on the peloton bike. I can take her on the pads, you know, and she's getting the buzz for it too.
It sounds like you've got a good life-work balance. Yeah. You know, how's the business going?
Very good. We just won Startup of the Year award for a recruitment company, which was exceptional. So really, really good. Again, head down driving into that as well, but you've got to have that balance. Yeah. It's a big juggling. You're spinning plates everywhere. That's who I am. It's what I've got to be doing. If I'm not that and I'm sat on my ass, I'm extremely unhappy. Yeah. I couldn't ever find myself being there. So.
Well, mate, thanks for supporting what we were up to. We raised £16,500 because of you and the other guys that took part. So, you know, I've said it, I'll say it again. Thank you so much for getting involved. But, you know, I think we're going to see you in a boxing ring again.
You certainly will. You certainly will. And thank you for putting it on. I look forward to your next event.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for your time, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. You take